Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to another great episode of Kyndra's Corner Comedic Edition. I love these episodes. Man, listen, I got great, more underground comedic guests who are y'all's favorite comedians. But you know what? I got to go ahead and bring them on because I don't want to keep them waiting for too long. My first guest, I realized it's been, about a month and a half since I've had him on my podcast. And I realized his happy weight is just getting a little too happy for my liking. We have Corey Shane in the building. Why is your happy weight getting a little too happy for my liking? What's going on?
I don't know, but it's good to see you again.
Yes. Next person I want to go ahead and bring onto the stage. This is a gentleman who likes dating women who weigh more than the animals, right? Because they like wearing this animal print clothing and they always weigh more than the animals. Wow, Phil, why do you keep dating these women who are always What's going on, Wild Phil?
I don't know, man. If they don't work out, I got to make a rug,
My last guest. I know for a fact when he gets married, because it's coming soon, he's going to cry because he's just been through so much with these hoes. Ryan, aren't you just going to shed some tears once you finally get married because the women that you've gone through, these hoes have just made you miserable?
Yeah, it's tough. That was the most spot on introduction I've ever had, honestly.
Who's the last? I got a quick question. I'm going to ask you guys this each little pre-warm-up question before we go to our interesting news. Who's the last hoe that you remember dating and you were like, wow, I can't believe I really got caught up with this person?
I'll fire it off, guys. So, man, it's not even necessarily, I wouldn't call women hoes because I respect them so much and I'm pro women. But the big thing is, it's like, I keep getting blindsided. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that show. It was called Baggage, I think it was called, or something.
I love Baggage. Yeah, with Jerry Springer, right?
Yeah, Jerry Springer would ask, he was like, all right, so what's your baggage? Open up the suitcase. And it would just be like some like crazy thing that like the girl would have going on with her. But that's like what I'm subjected to online dating now these days and times that we're in. And I'm swiping and then I'm going on dates. I'm doing what you should. And it gets to that point where I'm like, I'm going on a date. Like one of these dates I went on, it was messed up. I mean, like I show up, she was in a wheelchair, which I was like, all right, not a big deal.
Wait, did she tell you prior to that she was in a wheelchair? Oh, wow. No. Okay.
And so we're getting ice cream. So not a big deal. I was like, cool, like let's see if this works out, and we get ice cream and we sit on.
Was this before or after she met you that she was in a wheelchair? Yeah.
I get the joke.
That's good. So,
that's
guys, Kong.
So yeah, that's also a common problem I have. Yeah, no, I'm not even sitting on a bench. But so we're sitting on this bench, and she's like, "Yeah, so this is the crosswalk I got hit at." Like while we're on the date, like while we're eating ice cream, and it was like, "Ah, man."
That's a core memory.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it really is.
Thanks for sharing, right?
Nice. Yeah, right. You guys all think about that, and that was it was definitely wild because then I went home and I was like, all right, maybe I should take a look at handicap porn, see if that's the genre. I Google it and it's just like a bunch of people at the bottom of stairs, like getting fucked. Your friends, no escalators.
Oh man, anybody else hard?
Yeah,
well, let me ask Wild Phil, the last woman that you remember who was a lady of the night in a way, or someone who you were like, yeah, we're done. Who was that last woman that you remember for yourself?
I know the worst one. You want to hear that?
Let's go there. Let's go.
Well, I mean, there was this girl that she was. This was like 10 years ago, but she like would poke holes in condoms and stuff. Like really wanted to have. And it was like we were just friends with benefits. So it was like, what is going on here? But then, and the funny thing is, I didn't know how to break up, just like Polish Catholic guilt crap, you know. So I was like, if we don't spice this up, this is over, you know. And man, her idea of spicing it up was, she's like, first, it started off good. She's like, can I call you daddy? And I was like, no complaints there, you know? But then she's like, I want you to wear certain clothes. And then she brought these things, like, I'm thinking it's going to be like Lover's Lane or something, you know?
Yeah.
She brought like her pajamas that she had when she was a kid. And then she had me dress up as her, like, in her dad's clothes. I was like,
oh my gosh, no,
yeah,
no.
And I'm like, I know we have to talk about this, but it didn't click until the middle of sex. So I was like, we'll talk about this later. like what? I mean, it was messed up, and yeah, but yeah, that was the weirdest, probably, yeah. And I mean, there was fights with her all the time. It was just, yeah, it was, yeah.
Well,
sounds like a red flag.
Yeah,
I might have missed a red flag or two there, Phil.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Phil! She just wrote a comment. Should I put it on screen?
Sure. Yeah.
I just scare you a little bit. Like,
It'd be funny if you had a hotline where they could call in. People could call in.
Yeah.
One day that's coming. That's coming.
You're just gonna Maury my ass, whatever the phobia is. Bring it in, you know.
Corey, I know last time you came on, you gave this hilarious episode, a hilarious spiel about, you know, that woman. Do you have another time where it was like a really horrible woman that you were dating that you were like, yeah, we're done?
Well, the last one that comes to mind, it was she just when we matched online, she messaged me the whole list of things, rules that she has, you know, like and I was just like, wow, you have a lot of rules. And she's like, well, yeah, but I can break some of the rules, you know, for the right guy or right moment or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, that's reasonable. But she eventually, like, we went out like 3 or 4 times and it never really went anywhere. But then the last time we had plans, she just straight up ghosted me. She didn't even show up. And then about an hour and a half later, she texted me and said that her phone wasn't charged and she was really sorry. And I was just thinking to myself, like, what? At what point is that an acceptable, like, a reason, or like, what did she really think that I would believe that? And then, so I just never responded until about a month and a half later, and I just explained that I had my phone had not been charged, and I was sorry.
Reverse card Uno, back to you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I think bullet dodged.
Good. I'm glad. For me, I would say, as far as with the men, right? Because women, when I used to be, you know, try to dip my whole foot, actually my whole leg in the women pond. I'm like, bro. Then I walked into the women's restroom and I saw how nasty it was. I'm like, I know I was not eating cat, and these women are nasty. Contrary to popularly, women are nastier than men in that bathroom. I want to let y'all know that, okay? I know y'all been to women's homes and you're like, I can't believe, is that a roach in the corner? Are they waving at me? A lot of these women are not clean. They're not. But the last guy, okay, this is a couple of weeks ago. I went to the laundromat. I helped this guy actually out. He had a whole bunch of clothes, right? Like he was finishing up drying. So I said, would you like for me to help you out? Take his clothes to the car. And he said, yeah, you know, and he was surprised. I helped him out. Every conversation was cool for 10 minutes. He says, I'm going to give you a call tomorrow. He actually sent me a text. He let me know when he made it home, and he never called. And I said, what the heck was that? People like that need to get their credit score lowered. Why'd you get me all excited? I was about to put you in the group chat like, yeah, I found a guy. Never mind. delete it, block. Like, you want this. Let me go. I'm gonna start off with Phil with the interesting news of the week. So a Nigerian couple arrested for kidnapping the ICE agents who came to arrest them. What are your thoughts on that, Wild Phil?
I get my news from white women screaming it at me. So I didn't even hear about that. I guess I mean, I guess that's karma, right? What do you do? Like they're napping everybody now, you know? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys know. Did you guys hear about the Laugh Factory guy in Chicago?
What happened with him?
ICE kidnapped him. And he's just like a white dad bod guy. Like he was filming. I think his name's Nathan something, but he's the manager at the Laugh Factory at Chicago, and he was just filming ICE pull up on somebody, and they napped his ass for like 2-3 weeks. I was gonna have him on my podcast because I'm like, what sucks is like when they take a hold of foreigners, you're kind of like, where they disappear, like what happened, you know? Yeah. So I kind of wanted to interview him, just like what the process was and everything. Cause I'm a Polish migrant. English was my second language. So,
okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I used to have a huge beard. And then when I shaved it, my wife was like, they're going to nap your ass. But I'm like, they might give me an application, you know? But yeah, no, that's yeah. I mean, you know, you could. It's kind of funny, you know, when you read that article that way. I think of it like I have a few jokes where I just add in race for no reason, just to see who gets angry. You know, like I was joking about how I used to be goth, and you know, people used to slice up their jeans, you know, to make it all frizzle. Yeah. And like every time I'd be like, oh, I didn't know there was a process to it. I just stabbed it like a enter race in prison, you know? And I'd just be like, oh, I did it like an Eskimo, or I did it like I'd even say macadamian, and people would think that, not realize that's nuts and not a race. But
how did you even graze over that you used to be goth? Like, how'd that work? What, one day you were just like, you know, I'm done with this. You're like, but like, I think a song on the radio, you were like, wow, this Pharrell Happy's got me thinking differently right now.
I think I grew up in a really white, like super racist neighborhood in Chicago, and all the Italian bullies with their gold crosses. I was like, I'm going to rebel with Marilyn Manson, you know. And so, but yeah, like I was saying that, like with the when you said the Nigerian couple, I'm like, at this point you could insert any race in there with ICE and it wouldn't be surprising with what's going on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You could put goth couple got you know, kidnapped ICE. You know, like
it sounded like a new A24 movie when you sent me that title. I was like, oh, like Nigerian couple, you know, they kidnapped an ICE agent or hold him hostage in a basement. I was like, can't wait to see this summer. This is gonna be a good movie. I was like, wow, what kind of twist do we got at the end of this one? You know?
Yeah.
I would just say you got to be wary about what Uber you get into, you know?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
I just want to, you know, I have a little bit of OCD, so I like see patterns, and I'm like, why do they all look like Farva from Super Troopers? And then how come, like I remember all these like chubby white guys that used to play Pokemon Go, and now they're just playing Pokemon Go with humans. You know, like
you're done. You're done, Phil. You're done. You're done. You're cut. You're cut. You're cut.
It's a pretty weak. Yeah, it's a pretty weak kidnapping. It's a weak kidnapping because he had his gun, he had his badge, he had his phone, and they drove him straight to the police station. And they told him they were driving him to the police station while they were on 911. So I mean, if that's how kidnappings go these days, I mean, you got to feel pretty safe being kidnapped in that manner.
When you're an adult, I wonder why they call it kidnap still. You know,
I don't. That's why I wondered that for the longest.
You haven't seen a good dog napping in a while. Remember when Paris Hilton's dog got stolen or something, and the guy was like, "I need like $5,000 or $50,000 to get it back."
Oh. Yeah, I think I do remember that.
That was like the most high-profile animal that we saw get kidnapped like last, I think. I mean, recently there was the kidnapping in the news. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of wild. That's still going on.
And she's an adult woman.
Yeah.
Now, Ryan, when you just said about the whole dog napping Paris Hilton, has anybody ever got to a point where they were low on money, right? And so they basically, because I've seen this before, where people have been so low on money where they decide to go steal someone's dog that they knew was going to put out a sign that said, "Hey, lost dog, I will give you $1,000 reward." And they actually did. Have y'all ever thought to go that low when it came to needing some extra fast
looking for a dog? That's like really Pokemon right there. You're like, wow, I'm pretty good at hunting wild dogs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go capture this one. I saw a sign the other day for a missing dog, and it didn't have the dog's name on the sign. I wanted to call them and be like, guys, like, give us something to go off, you know? I can't walk around and just be like, dog, you know? It's like, what am I doing? Give me the name of the dog.
Whistle,
they're like, don't approach it either. I was like, well, how the hell am I gonna capture it and give it back to you, you know, and get my reward?
And how long do you have to wait before the sign goes out before you contact them? Like, you just like immediately contact them?
Yeah.
You have to wait a day?
Yeah. I live in a neighborhood, there was a missing tortoise. I'm just like, lady, it's dead. Like, come on. How does that happen? You know, like
I used to have like a really overweight friend, and he had a $5,000 golden macaw.
What's a macaw? What is that?
So it's like a parrot that can talk and whatnot.
Okay.
It can fly too. It's a wild bird, but we live in like the Philly area, and the thing got out of his house, and I mean, he was chasing it around the neighborhood for like 4 or 5 hours before it landed in a tree, and then some younger kid like climbed the tree and like snatched it out of the tree when the bird got tired. But it was just like, imagine like $5,000 just flying out of your house. You're like, oh my god.
How can you tell when a bird's tired? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, yeah, right. I don't know. Yeah, good point.
Do they yawn?
Wait. So listen, the person I just finished before we started. I do reading tutoring, right? And so one of the moms, she said, "Hey, do you know somebody who wants a paralyzed bearded dragon? This dragon is in heat." And I said, first off, how did you get paralyzed? What did you? She's like, I keep calling around. I said, maybe you should put it on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, right? But a paralyzed bearded, she's like, it's so depressing looking at it. It's turning brown. And I said, well, listen, I got a cat, right? Cat gets in heat. She was gonna start spraying the house, so we had to hurry up and get her spayed, right? But a paralyzed bearded dragon.
isn't that all bearded dragons? Like, do they ever move?
I thought they do.
I mean, does it, like, what does it do when it's hungry? Does it got like that bell in Breaking Bad when it wants to get fed? Like, how do you know when a paralyzed animal that just sits still in a bright light all day? What, you know, I don't know.
I think it's pretty disrespectful to dragons, if anything.
Yeah,
it's like that thing can't even shoot fire out of its mouth, and it's like they're carrying the name of a dragon with it. It's like, that's kind of ridiculous.
Doesn't even have a beard.
Yeah. No beard either.
Yeah,
us in the bearded community.
Complete misnomer.
Yeah.
Y'all are hilarious. I think everybody answered. One thing I want to say is good for them. That's what they get. ICE, hey, leave people alone. Let me go. I'm gonna go to. Let me go to Ryan first with the random poll tonight. So, I know earlier, I believe it was Corey who mentioned about this woman who had all these unrealistic, she had a CVS receipt long of like do's and don'ts, right? Which is like, lady, come on now. Like, look at you. All right. My question for tonight, random poll for you. I'm gonna start off with you, Ryan, is what dating requirement do you think actually keeps people single, but everyone claims is essential?
So it's funny. I think that it's a big misconception. I think we're all at the dance. Everybody wants to dance, but we're all at the sides. Nobody wants to do anything. It's kind of like a thing. I don't know. We're all stuck in this weird little zone there. But it's just fascinating to me because I think everybody's expectations are too high. Is one, and we all sit around. And it's because I watched this documentary a while ago. It was on Napoleon for some random reason. And it was on History Channel, or it was on PBS or something. But Josephine, the chick that he liked, was talking about how she's like, yeah, I don't really like Napoleon that much, but she realized she was getting older and just getting less attractive. So she was like, I'll just end up with him because he has money. And I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy. But it's I don't know. I think expectations of that is crazy, but I mean, I don't know. I've dated around different wealths and we've been fine. But I think it's just unrealistic expectations of trying to be perfect. I mean, not everybody's perfect, I guess. I don't know.
Now, before I go to Corey, you say you dated around different wealths. Have you ever had like a sugar mama before or came close to having one?
I've dated this chick who was like 53, I think.
How old were you at the time?
I was like 26.
Okay. What happened? Why did the relationship not work?
Yeah, it was just chaotic. I mean, I was just at a point where I was like, what am I doing? It's like, I'm in my prime right now. I gotta look for a wife. I was dating a grandmother, essentially. She had grandkids.
She could have been your wife. Did she have kids older than you?
No. The kid was the same age as me. We all did shots at the bar that night before I took his mother back to her house.
You're like, I'm daddy now. You got to respect me, right?
Yeah, I was like, hey, son, I know this is going to be a tough one. No. I didn't do any of that. No, I just was hanging out at their beach house and stuff. It was kind of fun. It was a fun month.
Well, there it is. Corey, same question with you. Do you have the question or you want me to repeat it?
No, I got you. So have you ever been searching for an Airbnb and you it needed to be below $200 and you needed 3 bedrooms and it had to be in the certain place in town and and the more you added to the filter and then you hit search and there's no options or one option or 2 options. Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of what people do, both sides. I think women are guilty of having a height requirement when ultimately the height is really something you notice on a guy when you first meet him, and then after that, who gives a shit? And I mean, secondly too, I know it's about women say it's about safety, but most violence is domestic violence. So really, you want a guy who's that big around, you know what I mean? If you really think about it. And then men, it seems like men they have a idea that they have to just be really struck by a woman's beauty to be attracted to her. And so I just think that everybody's expectations are just way too high. Dating on paper, everybody's got all of these things that they put on their filter, and then disappointed that there's nobody that meets the requirements.
How tall are you, out of curiosity?
I'm gonna guess. Let me guess. I'm gonna say 6 feet.
That's pretty close. So the last woman that I dated, she didn't put my name into the phone. She put my height into the phone.
Oh wow!
And she put 5'11". She put 5'11".
Wow. I cleared that up at the DMV. I'm actually 5'10", but I on my driver's license it says 6 foot.
Okay. There you go.
The state of Pennsylvania recognizes me as 6 feet tall. I mean, do I care? It's no, but it's it ends an argument pretty quick. I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm 6 foot. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, my driver's license says it. It's got to be accurate, right? You can't lie on that.
Sure you can. So Comedian Des Bishop says that women are heightist. That's the next thing. That women are all heightist, and but he doesn't care. He's 6'3", but
of course.
but how dare women treat them short kings that way? How dare them?
How dare indeed. Phil, go ahead, end us out.
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, basically, the question is, hold on. Okay, so what's the dating requirement? What dating requirement or requirements do you think actually keeps people single, but everyone claims it's essential?
I think maybe sometimes it's the money thing, because like these days, I mean, especially going into comedy. I mean, I know a guy that just sells books, and I couldn't imagine putting that in your dating profile. Like, I'm looking for my queen who will support my Craigslist book scheme. Like I don't know. But I will say, I think I always thought it was funny. Like, I was never what's the word? Self-conscious about this Dracula hairline, but I know that a lot of dudes are. But what's funny is, like, I got more hate from dudes that are already bald than I got from women. They were almost like, it's coming. Start looking for one of those Little Rascals hats, because that's what you like. And then I like looked into that, and I was like, I wish. I was thinking about, imagine if guys if women like don't like balding men, if guys were as picky about like big foreheads, because sometimes I'm like, my hairline starts where yours ends, like I don't know. I was working on a bit about this. I was like, and it came out of nowhere. I was reading this stupid, fun, ADHD fact of that in World War II, the most women that were serving were snipers. And I was like, because they wouldn't want to be on the receiving. You'll see that forehead away from 3 miles away, like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think
it's funny you say that about. Well, it's funny you say that about the hair thing, because like I've been accused of hat fishing. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
I know what hat fishing is. Yes, hats
I'm
are
like,
makeup for y'all. They're like makeup.
I have hair, but like I acknowledge that I just look a little bit better in a hat, and like girls are like, oh, it's cool you wear a hat, but like I was like, yo, I still have hair, but it's just like I'm like I got German genes that kind of goes like it's like this, or I can. You don't want to put it down, but it's just like, I don't know. The hat, right? What's wrong with the hat?
Yeah. I guess the other thing.
I don't know.
I got a quick question. Hold on. I got a quick question right now. I'm gonna come back to you, Phil, real quick. Do women like it when you're being intimate with them with the hat on, Ryan? Like during intercourse?
Oh no, I kick it on. It's like an actor with a jacket. I'm like. It's like a whole thing, we're getting into it. The hat fucking flies across the room. It's like the old dude taking his glasses off when he has the fucking steak. He's like, right off the bone. It's like a signature move. It's like a little touch. It's like, whoa, shit's getting hot. Hat fucking mile away.
That would be distracting and intimate. Like, just from watching porn, I'm like, why is this guy totally naked except his ankle socks? And why is the ankle sock guy getting more than me?
Well, look, I told y'all earlier, I interviewed porn stars, so I'll find that porn star dude. Just let me know who he is, and I'll bring him on.
I was gonna say, I think maybe one. I mean, I've been married for 10 years, which people are super surprised, but like biggest thing with me and my wife is like the initiation of sex. We're like, we don't know who's supposed to do it, because it's like, if she does it, she's the paralyzed bearded dragon in heat, and if I do it, I feel like, is this problematic? You know, and it always ends in let's just watch Netflix and eat mac and cheese. You know, like that's marriage.
That is. Wait, hold on, Corey. I remember last episode you came on. You said you were previously married. Would you say that's marriage? Like during those times, that was marriage for you as well, back in the day?
I mean, I was married 20 years. I wouldn't say that I had a functional marriage, but yeah, I mean, that was always an issue. It was always an issue. We tried a lot of different things, like scheduling it, but I mean, you know, intimacy by appointment doesn't always work. I'll just say it's tough when you have young children to find time to be intimate because they just toddle in at the worst times, you know, but I would say that is a struggle. That was always a struggle. Not as much of a struggle not being married. I'll say that.
Yeah. Phil, got a quick question for you. I know you had said earlier, first part that you said the woman from 10 years ago, right? Did you meet your wife like a month after you stopped dealing with that woman from like, you know, the 10-year story? Did you meet your wife like around that same time? What was that process like?
No, it was, I met my wife maybe like 4 or 5 years after that. Mm-hmm. That girlfriend, I think it was more like 12, you know, but 12 years ago. But yeah, no, I met her, you know, it's crazy. Like when I think it's also because I had this like self-consciousness because of English being my second language. Like I used to be that really nervous guy of like, to me, second base is, do I get to put my arm around you? You know, like I used to be really nervous. And then after I went through this like just like fuckboy phase where I was in a band, so it was just like a new girlfriend each week. And then like finally I met my wife because I was like, this person actually wants to like grow old and like build a nest, you know? I mean, some of the people you'd run into like just for fun. I like when you asked Ryan for if they ever dated a sugar mama. Mm-hmm. I dated I matched with some girl who wanted me to pay for her art studio. And I'm like, do I look like I have money? Like I it was just so weird. There's so many weird things, you know, and then I especially online, like the weirdest thing I ever heard, there was a person wanting to have a threesome and it was because she felt bad for her friend who was blind. And I was like, well, where's this going to take place? And they were like, they don't have a good spot. So they wanted to do it at their work, which I thought was like an office. So in my mind, I'm thinking of office porn, whatever.
Yeah.
They worked at a pet shop. And I'm like, isn't this blind person terrified of what's going on? You know, there's a fucking parrot going. Like, watch out where you put your finger. You know, like, God.
Were there bearded dragons there? Maybe that's how that one got.
I mean,
that's how they got paralyzed.
You go full circle, you know.
Yeah. Well, let me before we I do y'all's individual shout outs and everything. I'm gonna go ahead and answer this. I think again, you guys are all spot on. The height thing. I had a guy, and some men have this thing about heights as well. Like they want the woman to, be, a size of a midget or something like that. And they're already 6'8". It's like, sir, at that point, it doesn't matter. I had a guy who was online, who came to my DM online, and he said, well, before this goes any further, I just want to know, like, how tall are you? And I'm like, bro, we're online. I can say whatever I want to say. Okay. That's why I'm an in-person meet type, like, for example, Ryan comes up to me. Yeah, Ryan comes up to me, he does a signature hat move. I'm like, oh, I already know what time it is. Okay, I'm going with you. But I met Ryan in person. So at least, because online you can't, a lot of that type of stuff that you think, it's not really real. You know, that's not really their car that they're driving. All right. That's their homeboys, right? Look, Ryan, I've actually seen your shirt on some of the guys who's hollered at me. What the heck is that about? But the guy, he was, I think he said he was like 6'2", 6'3". He said, I just want to know how tall you are, you know, because height tells you a lot about someone. And I was like, bro, the only thing that height tells you is that the rain is going to hit you first. Get out of my DM. That's what height tells you. Like, so I'm going to say, I say height is a thing. A man, I used to think, okay, a man has to make a certain amount of money to even talk with me, like many women. But at the same time, like the average man in general, doesn't matter what your ethnicity, race, whatever nationality is, it's running about like $50,000. I believe if I looked up the reports, if I'm not mistaken, like $50,000, maybe 60. Like, you know, I mean, that's if you're not doing fraud, right? You're not trying to scam, you know. Another thing I believe as well, women have this thing. Oh, if he has a roommate and he's over the age of 30, what if the guy's 45 and he wants to have a roommate? What is wrong with that? I don't think nothing's wrong with that. Now, I don't think there is, because I've learned, you know, not to get too picky. Now, of course, as a man, y'all want y'all's own place. I think everybody should have their own place, you know, before they decide to go and get married or whatever else it may be. But I don't think it's a problem for me if a man has a roommate. I've heard of women saying, oh, if he's always playing video games, he needs to get some real hobbies. What are you talking about? What is wrong with that? You know? Oh, if he doesn't tell me his feelings and we just met, sis, let him warm up to you. Some men have been conditioned not to really share everything that they want to share, you know, with that woman, so it won't be used against them. You know, whatever. It's just stuff like that is what I believe keeps a lot of women, like I say, single. Oh, you need to pay my bills if you want to talk with me. That's like prostitution, you know. It's not stuff like that is really what keeps a lot of people single. Oh, here's another one I just came across. Some woman has said if that man has multiple kids by multiple different women, and let's say those kids are 19, and I said, okay, if he's 45 and he's already learned his lesson, you ain't gonna give him a chance, like, but you want him to give you a chance. You got 5 kids by 5 different men, and half of them are in jail or dead. Okay, or one of them wants to go be a pirate. Like, come on now. I just that's my TED talk. So to be honest, so that's what I will say. I think honestly, now there are some things I'm not gonna go with. Like if your teeth look like the New York state line and I have straight teeth, I'm not dealing with that. Like if you got a hole in your tooth, Courage the Cowardly Dog, I'm not dealing with that. Okay, like it looks like God rolled your teeth in his mouth, and you know, in his hand, he threw like dice in your mouth. I'm not dealing with that. Right? You got to get your teeth fixed, but you got Jordans. Come on now. A PS6. It ain't even came out yet. So how you got it? So that's my TED talk. Corey, go ahead, shout yourself out. What do you have coming up? Any shows, your social media handles, all that?
Yeah, so I'm most active on Instagram, Corey Shane Comedy. I've got a show that I produce and host, Foster Funnies. It's on the rooftop of the building I live on here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And a lot of, we've done it a few times, and it's always a good lineup of people. I'm really happy with the lineup that we have this time, and I host, and it's a really good time. The building gives out free food, free booze, and let me do my thing. Make sure that I can get the comics on that I want to get on, and it's a real good time.
Oh, I'm there. You said free food, free booze. Wait, is that only for the host?
It's April. No. I could put you on the guest list. It's April 23rd.
Oh shoot, we're going on the guest list, y'all.
I mean, there's limited tickets, but I'll put you on the guest list.
Okay, we'll talk. Wild Phil, go ahead. Let us know what you have going on, your social media handles, all that good stuff, the website, whatever.
Yeah, so I got if you just look up so I go by Wild Phil Lisecki, but nobody can spell my name. So if you just look up Wild Phil on Instagram, it'll pop up. I also, I'm sitting right next to it, I got Wild Phil's Osophy is a podcast I run. I am gonna like lay low on that a little more just because I want to work on sketches and skits. but that's where I post everything is the Instagram on under Wild Phil and Wild Philosophy. I also run a show. I'm moving. I used to run a show called Wild Dogs in South Elgin, Illinois, and the venue went bankrupt. I think on purpose. It's some crooked Chicago shit. So we're finding. I'm actually right after this. I'm going to find a new venue. So yeah, there's that.
Beautiful. Well, listen, keep us posted when you come back on how that
Yeah.
went and everything. Bankrupt. Oh man. Ryan, end us out.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Ryan Resell on Instagram. Got my comedy and my I sell antiques and stuff on there too. But then I got a show coming up Easton, PA, and then I got a couple shows after that, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, follow me for all my shows on there on Instagram, and I got a YouTube channel too.
Are you opening up for Dave Chappelle anytime soon? Just want to know.
Not this summer.
Okay.
He's not answering my emails. I don't know what happened. I must have it's bouncing back. I must have got a bad email.
I love it. Listen,
every
man.
now and then.
I love it. I love it. To my audience, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please continue to repost, share, tell a friend. All of my guests, you guys are amazing. So glad you chose this career. All right, because I was tired of coming across y'all, seeing y'all strip, at Beefy's. Corey. With that being said, man, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. We're out.